So it's the day after the race, so it is now Monday, and I just wanted to give you my thoughts on what went down yesterday. I guess I'll just start from the start. I felt like the morning of the race, I prepared really well. I was really calm. I got on the bus to then take me to T1 to the start of the race, and I got on the bus, and the bus had blasting music going, but I was like, it's 5 a.m. The race doesn't start for, it was 2.5 hours, so I hopped on the bus and did a meditation on YouTube, and I like to meditate, and it's just really good. I felt really calm and in the zone and at one with my body, and then as we got there and setting up my bike and getting that all sorted, I was really calm. I'm good at going to the toilet. I wake up, I did 2 poos before I even left my place, but then I always need to poo before a race, always, and there were the toilets situation there was not good. There were just not many toilets at all, but thankfully I found one, I don't know, it was hidden, and it was off quite a way away, but I found it, so that was good. And I got myself in the zone, listened to my music as I always do just before. I felt really calm, but really focused, and I just felt like I'd done it a million times, and because I guess with training, I have, I've woken up at that time a million times. I've prepared myself to train really well, and so it just felt really good and mechanical, I guess. The swim, I started swimming. Also, the swim location was just epic. There was a clip earlier in this video of the swim location, and it was just epic. The water was so crystal clear, and it tasted so fresh. In the mountains, it was super foggy and cloudy and rainy though, but it still looked epic. And the swim, I struggled early on to kind of get, I don't know, it may sound odd, but my right hand, I just couldn't grip the water. My fingers kept sliding back, and I just really couldn't grip the water. And I felt like I was just really struggling to reach over. And then I was coughing a lot in the water, and maybe the coldness really brought my cough out more, since kind of just trying to shake the last of my cold. And I didn't feel great in the water, but I gave it my all. I swam as best as I could. And anyway, it turns out I did a 29-minute swim, which, no other way to put it, I was not happy with. Very frustrated with, because in the form I'm in, or before coming here, I'm in 27.5 kind of minute form, which for me is good. I'm an amazing swimmer, and neither have I done the insane work that I would need to get to be a 25-minute swimmer. So I'm realistic with what I can achieve right now with the time I have working and everything. But I would have thought I should be 27.5 minutes, kind of in that zone, If I'm going to hit the 28, it shouldn't be much more than that. So then to do 29, I was like, that's not good. But the thing I need to remind myself, and after talking with my family and my strength coach, and is that like I can't underestimate the effect that the sickness has had. And I wasn't able to swim much at all this week. Twice I went to the pool and it was closed when it was supposed to be open, so I wasn't able to swim then last week and a half I was sick before I came here, and I only got a couple swims in. So I guess when you consider all that, it's probably understandable. But yeah, it was just a bummer because it's not what I've worked hard for. It's not the result that... It doesn't show where I'm actually at the moment, and it doesn't represent the work that I've done. And that's the hard thing with this, We train for 8 months and then we try to get it all right on one day. And that one day is supposed to represent everything. And so obviously it doesn't all the time. And that's why people, you have a season of racing, you do multiple races, because some of those races you're going to hit, some of them you're not. And yesterday in the swim I didn't hit, and I felt really, really, really frustrated yesterday and this morning, but I kind of worked through that, and I'm now like, well, I'm not gonna take that personally, I guess. I know the work that I've done, I know where I'm at, I know that's not representative of where I'm at, so you just need to cop that and move forward. All good learning lessons as well, though. Like, I know that if I was to come back, like if I was to travel overseas again racing, and like as a professional, when this all actually really matters, is I need to have access to swimming. So I would need to hire a car, even though like I looked at hiring a car here, it was $400 a day, like... Yeah, so I don't know how you're supposed to afford that, but like, there's not really any other choice here. So, because it's the only pool, so the only way to swim then is to have a car, and then you got to pay $400 a day. So, I don't know. That's a problem for in the future. And then, so moving on to the bike, came out of the swim. I made up a fair bit of time in transition on other people, so that was good. But I always take my time in transition, like especially because I knew I wasn't racing for a win. I knew that I was just now had to prepare to go do a good ride. And went out onto the bike, started riding, and like... I just instantly felt that my legs weren't great. I was kind of sitting on like 290, 300 watts, and I was like, that just feels a bit too much. And it's kind of, you have that decision moment. You're like, well, I know my body can do it. Like, I've trained for more than that, so I'm just going to push it. But you're just going to blow yourself up. Like, you can only do what your body's got on the day. And so I was like, no, okay, let's back off. So I backed off to like 280-ish, and kind of sat around that mark a bit, 280, 285, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or something. And slowly the body started to warm up a bit. And it's like, there was this moment where I was just like, here we go. The legs, like, it was just this real like click where the legs, like, they must have just warmed up, and I felt them come on, and I was like, yes. And I looked down, I'm doing like 300, 310 watts, and I'm feeling comfortable, and I'm like, here we go. And it was just stunning, the scenery. Like I was trying, I had Dad's voice in my head, who he said, just like, try to look around when you can and appreciate the scenery, because like even now it just feels like a blur, like thinking back. But I just remember like moments were just hectic. Like, I'm just fanging along in the TT bars, just going through these like S's on the side of like a mountain, like massive mountain, and just overlooking like pure Tour de France, just epic roads. The different scenery we got as well, like, it was just incredible. Like, Anyway, so started to warm up, legs feeling good. The route was really hilly. It was like 1,150 meters of climbing. So there was a couple key climbs, and then there was lots of just punchy rolliness. And then there was one main kind of 10, 15-ish K section of like fairly flat, pretty flat straight road. So it had everything. But I've never done a course that hilly or that like rolling. And the key thing was the descents. So it was pumping with rain. So I didn't even have my visor on. I had to take my visor off because I just couldn't see. And the descents were like, again, they were proper Tour de France, like hairpin, super tight, blind corners. You have no idea. You go around one corner and, you don't know whether it's going to be a fairly straight corner or if it's going to be a like blinding turn. So like there are a few times like I was like coming really slow, and then I'm like, oh, it was like a straight corner, and like I could have taken it so much quicker. But like if you want to know this route off by heart, you need to have ridden it so many times. Like you need to be a local to have known it off by heart. But if you did know it off by heart, there were minutes to be gained by knowing it. There are a few Frenchies that so on the flat sections, they were sitting behind me and copping a bit of draft off me, even though they're not supposed to. And then they get to the downhill sections and there was like 3 of them and they come past me. And you just, because you lose them around the blind corner, and then you can't even really follow them because it's just such small little blind corners. So you'd have to be like right behind them to see them. And yeah, like it was epic. Like some of the descents, I'm like, this is sketchy as hell, especially in the pumping rain. But it was epic. No other word for it. And yeah, there were so many moments where I was like, I'm really glad I did this race. It is just unbelievable scenery and sick roads. And I feel privileged to have been able to do this. Like there was one point we were going up a climb, and one of the last climbs, and one of those Frenchies and I we had a little chat, and he was really nice, and just the roads, there were so many of the climbs, there were just so many people on the side, going allez, 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 which was really cool. And yeah, it was an epic course, and I rode it as best as I could. I ended up, my average power, my Wahoo uploaded it slightly with time before and time after, and I can't adjust it. But my average power was, not including zeros, was 293 going into transition. So then the not including zeros, obviously, because then there's a few downhill sections where you have a good minute or two where you're going through hairpin turns, and then there were lots of just punchy uphill climbs. So then there's times where you're doing 350 or more watts, smashing it out. My max power was 650 watts or something like that. So you had lots of, it wasn't just one straight TT road. But yeah, it had everything. It was an epic course. I rode it to the best of my ability. I did a 2:22 on it, and I think most of the best pros were doing 2:17. So I was still 5 minutes off them, but I think if I knew the course off by heart, easy a good few minutes at least to shave off my time. And then I think if I rode that power at, given everything, the travel, the sickness, then it does give me a lot of confidence for where I'm at. Like, because I know before I came over here, I had more than that in the tank, more than that. So I know that already right now, I'm close to or at the level that all the pros were riding at yesterday. And that's awesome, because I was working 7 days a week. Like, I know I can get a fair chunk faster than them. So that was good. It was all good experience. I've never done a route like that before. It was epic. It was hard. And I felt like I paced it well. And yeah, overall, I'm really happy with it. I got a few like key power bests. I got there was 20 minutes of it that I held like 320 watts, and then I got my third ever highest 90-minute power, and 10 minutes I did like 330 watts or something like that. So there was a lot of climbs and stuff up and down. It was a solid ride. And then I got off the ride and I decided to kind of jog a lap of the run, 7K, and I kind of was getting to the end of that, and I was just like, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to walk kind of the whole thing and finish it, but as I was doing that, it just kind of felt disrespectful to just be walking around, you know, and as you walk past everyone, because the whole thing was just lined with people. They're all like, come on, like, you can do it, mate. And I'm like, yeah, I know I can. I've done a million of these, like, but I'm injured. Obviously, I'm not saying that to them, but yeah, it didn't feel right to just kind of keep walking around. So I pulled out, and the lady, when I went to pull out, she was like, oh, is it too hard for you? And I'm like, that's literally the worst thing you could say to me. I'm like, no, it's not too hard for me. I'm injured. Yeah, it was an epic run course, and I really wish I could have actually competed, you know, and that was really hard to process yesterday and last night and this morning, and yeah, just not being able to compete and not being able to finish it was really tough, because it's hard, because yeah, I have worked hard and I'm reaping no show for that. And then, you know, I'm gonna have a holiday and have a break, which will be good for my body, rest my knee, and then I'm gonna come back, and, you know, I might not, you know, after Roth, I might not like be, you know, where I want to be again for racing for, you know, another good 6 months. And so I'm not a patient man. Yeah. The disappointment and frustration that I have is what also gives me the love for the sport, because it's when I have that breakthrough race, when I have that result, it's just what's going to make it feel so much more epic. And I know that will come. So kind of then, yeah, processing all that and kind of going, okay, well, where does this leave me for Roth? You know, I head to London tomorrow. So I got one more sleep here, and then I head to London, and yeah, and I think given everything that's going on, you know, like, I'm kind of in many ways viewing Roth coming up as more of it's going to be a big training day that's going to give me a good understanding of Ironman racing in the future. So when I come back for my next Ironman, I'll understand better how does my body feel after the swim and the ride, like, because I'll have done those things. So I'll know better how my body feels after the ride, and I'll know better how to pace myself on the run. I'll get some more data on my nutrition, like see how I feel with my nutrition. So I'll do all my specific Ironman nutrition as if I was going to do the run, and see how my body feels on that, and yeah, it'll just be good experience, you know, plus it's supposed to be an epic place. But yeah, it's going to be really tough not doing the run and not finishing it. But I don't want to walk 42k. That's not going to be good for my knee. You know, already I did 7k walk this morning and then the 7k jog yesterday, and my knee's feeling it a little bit. So yeah, I'm just going, I guess the idea is I'm over here in Europe for 5 weeks before that race. So I'm going to enjoy the touristing and the sightseeing and the culture and the enjoying life over here. Because again, I have no reason to dedicate everything and sacrifice, you know, time with my friends and family and my partner over here, like, for a swim bike that doesn't mean anything. So I would be silly to lose out on that. But I'm going to keep chipping away and see what work I can do. And, you know, hopefully I'll just learn some things from Roth, and that'll be good experience. And I'll enjoy seeing what I can do in the swim and the bike at those distances. And then, yeah, I'll have my holiday. I'll rest my body. I'll come back, hopefully get my knee sorted, and I can just start working again and start chipping away again and build back up to hopefully have a really good performance, start having some really good performances early next year. And yeah, people will be like, oh my gosh, where'd this dude come from? And I'll be like, I've been working away for years without the results. But yeah, that's kind of my race rundown. Lots of like mixed highs and lows, and yeah, it just kind of feels weird not having finished it. So it's an odd one, you know. I've not had a race kind of like this and mentally process it like this before. But yeah, I just have to take the good things from it and understand that, yeah, I know that swim was not representative of where I'm at. The ride was really good, but I know where I'm at is even better than that. So that's really good. Yeah, I've learned a bit more about how my body responds. You know, I think if I was racing as a pro and like this was a key race, I really would want like 2 weeks to come over here and get settled and stuff before racing. And yeah, so there's just a few things like that I feel like I've learnt from this, which is good. That's why I kind of wanted to do this, you know, get a bit more of an idea of how my body responds and how it feels literally racing a week after coming over here and all the shenanigans I've gotten up to this week. So yeah, anyway, I've rambled on for a while just because I have a lot of thoughts on this and I could keep rambling on for a long time. But yeah, so I head to London tomorrow. Got 3 weeks there basically with my good friend Izzy, who I met in Cambodia back in 2016 when I went over there volunteering with an organisation. So she's come spend time with me and my family over in Australia, and then now I'm going to spend time with her in London, which is really cool. And then yeah, they got lots planned. We're doing a few days in Spain as well, and yeah, ride my bike around there, try to get some swimming in, see if there's a gym around there, and lots of travel around London, see all the sights in the UK, and then I go back to Nice and meet Ruby in Nice in 3 weeks, whenever that is, early June. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed seeing Provence, and yeah, all the shenanigans I've gotten up to this week. And thanks very much for all of you who are coming along for the journey and supporting me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks guys. Have a good night. That's it for this video. Next one will probably be, I'll be in London, baby.